Hello and welcome to the Tanya Augusta Alchemy Community. I am Tanya Augusta, your alchemy and transformation coach. Well, so good to have you here today for part 2 of the 7 holistic steps to heal trauma. And if you haven't already, of course, go back to part 1. And if it has been a little while, I also recommend doing a little refresher. And I'm going to dive into part 4 today of the 7 holistic steps to heal trauma. So this one is to heal the trauma by shifting the physical body through energy work or mindful movement. So the different ways that we could do that might look like, I'm going to talk about the mindful movement part first. So what I mean by that is doing any kind of intentional movement. That could look like walking outside. Being in nature is extremely helpful and very healing. So I definitely recommend that, as well as it could be doing some kind of a gentle yoga, maybe a yoga nidra, maybe some qigong, maybe it's tai chi. So definitely think about what would be best for your body and what you enjoy, but also really what could help get things moving out of the body, because trauma gets stuck in the physical body. We know that stress gets stuck there, so does trauma. So just like we want to use massage to help us release stress, we also want to use these different body work or energy techniques to help move out the different layers. They can be stuck in the fascia, in the muscles, in the cells. And there's many techniques that can help remove this. And so, yeah, again, body work could be a great way. And I mean, some form of massage in that way. I do an acupressure and body work form. It's like a medical massage. I use Chinese medicine with it, and it's moving all the energies in the body, focusing on those organs and the channels, just like an acupuncturist would. So that is one way to do it. Acupuncture would, of course, be another way. Reiki is something else you can use. So these can also be a remote technique. I was trained in the ancestral energy clearing, as I like to call it. And this is a technique that helps remove patterns from the body that are stuck from our ancestors. And so we know that these, from the epigenetic studies, that these traumas are often passed down intergenerationally. So sometimes these traumas may even show up as, like, for example, a fear, a phobia that you don't know why you have. You've talked to your parents, they don't understand it, they don't know that you've had any experience in your childhood that could have caused it. There's nothing you can remember. For example, maybe you have really bad claustrophobia, and so you can't be in elevators or in small spaces, and otherwise you have these panic attacks. So that could have been something from a trauma that happened to a great great grandmother, perhaps, where she was stuck in a very small place. And so you feel those same feelings in your body in certain situations, and you may not understand it or have words for it. Of course, with a lot of these different traumas, we will feel things physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. And so this movement is going to help move out some of these different layers from the body, the etheric field, wherever it may be stuck. So this is going to be really important. And I'm going to keep talking about this, but we definitely usually need a team of healers to assist us through healing our traumas. And I definitely was doing that when I got trained in my ancestral energy clearing. I had been seeing many therapists, coaches, doing different techniques, and it really, it wasn't until I found that specific one that I really cleared out the patterns that were keeping me stuck and that were playing out, in such a painful way. But I was also working with somebody to address some nutrition for my body. I was, getting body work. So I was definitely getting some of these different modalities and working with multiple people to help address and heal this. And so I definitely suggest that. We'll come back to that more in a little bit. So the fifth step in healing holistically your trauma would be to work on your nutrition. So we want to heal through the nutrition. And, there's a lot of different ways that we can be exposed to things that are going to hurt us. These toxins, these pathogens, they can come through forms of food, but they can also be environmental. So we deal with lots of things from the food, like the sugars are causing the inflammation in the body, which then can cause more of a cascade of other effects. We get on this blood sugar roller coaster from being on sugar, and then, we're really depleting our adrenals on top of it. And there's, a whole cascade of chemical reaction that's happening there. And you can check out another video of mine to learn more on that. But that is definitely one thing that we want to watch out for, and that can be a trigger. But there's also other foods that are really maybe not really foods that are out there. I mean, there's so much processed foods these days, and as much as we all may want to be healthy, we all at times enjoy some of these foods that are faster, or they may have a nice taste profile. So there's lots of different reasons, but there are definitely some foods that can trigger more of a chemical reaction in the body, and this can exacerbate trauma. It can also be part of, this whole subset of when a trauma is getting resurfaced. We're going through a very stressful time in our life, and then there can be a specific foods that then also like trigger this bigger response. And so, these patterns can be very very pronounced, and something that we can't ignore, because we're in, usually not just physical pain, but emotional pain and mental pain and spiritual pain. So this is why I address everything holistically. I've definitely been there. I healed my own autoimmune with my nutrition coaching that I do now, and that I also call my transformation coaching, which is essentially life coaching. But yeah, changing the nutrition, changing the lifestyle, and really working on, of course, all these emotional patterns. So definitely, there are so many layers to this. But yeah, when we're having different toxins that we're having to deal with constantly, the body is always wanting to heal. It's always wanting to work for us, not against us. And so if we're having a reaction, it means that it's just getting pummeled with too many things, too many toxins, too many things that are adverse to it. And what may be deemed a healthy food to somebody else may not be for your body. So we definitely have to look at those things. But in general, getting away from the processed foods and the sugars is a big one, as well as GMOs. Again, you can look for another video from me on that. But, those are some big ones. And to just stay focused on the whole foods, especially those fruits and vegetables, legumes, and some whole grains. The gluten-free whole grains are really good. I also recommend the coconut water. Make sure you get unsweetened, and, a really good source of that. It's also very nourishing for the nervous system as you are going through trauma. So just as a side note, if you know anybody else who's going through this, please share this with them as well. We definitely want to support people in these times. We've all been going through a lot. This is being done in 2022, but who knows what's ahead. But we've definitely been through a couple of more challenging years for many of us. And, for all of us, anytime that we've gone through trauma, that we have experienced these challenges, a lot of times it's really a dark night of the soul. And either way, it is, even if it's not to that level, it is a very hard and painful time. So you want to really work on reaching out to community. And so that would be the sixth step in healing your trauma, is to know that we have to be surrounded by people. We need to have people in our court that are loving us and caring for us, and finding support groups if that's what would serve you as well. There's so many different ways that we can get community, but I've followed many different of these experts in the trauma field, and Dr. Gabor Mate says to have trauma is to believe we are separate. And so, yeah, that is really part of the issue that kind of comes down to a lot of people when they're experiencing trauma. They feel alone. They do feel separate. They don't feel understood. They don't feel seen. Sometimes the medical community doesn't help with that, right? And I know that was definitely my experience, and it's not an intentional one by any means. It's just a systematic thing that does sometimes happen. It can happen in the alternative healing world as well. So sometimes it happens in our family of origin, sometimes in our friend circles. We don't know where this may come from, but we do need to know that we are social beings and that we need to be in a supportive environment, and that that part of that healing is to actually know that we belong, and that we are not separate, and that we are a part of something bigger. So when we can remember that, that is truly deeply healing. The seventh step in this holistic process to heal your trauma is to take a look at your language, your beliefs, and then using that process of taking a look and changing those to also visualize what it is that you are wanting. There's a Dr. Monica Sharma, MD, who talks about trauma and how to transform your trauma narrative. And she talks about the first step being to know the shift that I want. And so this really comes back to what I talk about all the time, as you are a powerful creator. You can create whatever it is that you want in your life, and you have to know what it is that you want and where you're going, right? So we need to have that clarity. We need to know what it is that we're seeking. And so, probably for you, if you're going through a trauma, it's finding that peace, finding that wholeness and peace within your body, finding love and joy again, finding community, whatever that may be for you. I'm sure there could be several pieces to it, but we want to be able to start to visualize that, and really stepping into that mind movie, as I like to talk about with my clients, and creating that and seeing yourself in this process of being in this new life where you're feeling good, where you are whole again, where you are feeling joyful, where you are getting to do the things that you love with the people that you love, or by yourself, wherever that may be, and really tapping into that. So that's so important, as well as really addressing our language, our mindset, right? Because so many of us, we have these, again, patterns that are typically from our families, and they go like, we hear other people saying things, or we see these patterns. Maybe our grandmother was a worrier, and so then we become a worrier, and we, whatever that negative pattern is, or we are saying things that are not serving us, and they can become a belief. And sometimes they are an actual belief that has been carried down, or that we developed at some point in our adulthood because it served us at that time. And so it's so important for us to start looking at what we're saying, catching ourselves, again, going back to that awareness of, we have something that we are wanting to change, and how do we change that? Well, we have to have that awareness first. But I do go into this a lot more in my Affluence Mindset Upgrade group, and I talk about all these mindset techniques and help people with their mindset. We go into practices where we're visualizing, and so we practice together. And this is a once a month group. And so definitely check out the link below to learn more about that. But yeah, this would also be another way to connect with some other people and to be in a beautiful community of supportive people. And I'm guiding you along the way. But yeah, this is all of these things are so important, to look at that language, look at those underlying beliefs. We have these empowering beliefs, we have these disempowering beliefs. It's wonderful if we have more empowering beliefs, but depending on our family and our history, we may not have as many of those, and so it could hold us back. And I really want you to have more of those, because maybe you're a very smart person, but your family just didn't tell you that you were smart a lot, and so you question yourself. So we can, definitely use affirmations to assist us, but not only, do our affirmations necessary, but again, we have to clear out these underlying beliefs. And again, that can be stuff that's stuck in the body that I can clear out with the energy clearing. And I also, in my transformation coaching, work to help people to uncover what their hidden beliefs are too, because we all have disempowering ones, and there's always going to be a new one that's going to crop up to work on. So we can shift these beliefs and become more of that powerful creator that we want to be. I want you to step into your power. I want you to be amazing. I want you to feel whole and well and healed. And to get through this time, if you are going through that challenging trauma or getting re-triggered by the old traumas, we all are going to experiencing this, like from time to time. It's going to, crop up because again, as I said in part one, we all experience this. And I guess that's a little bit of the beauty, that we can know that we're not alone in this. And the other wonderful thing is that as we clear out our traumas, we are helping our children. So whether or not you have children, and I don't at this point in my life, but I still want to clear this out for my family, and it does affect all the family lines even. So yeah, that's so beautiful. I wish you well on your journey. I appreciate your time here. Tell me what you liked below. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Share this again with your family, with your friends, anyone who could benefit. I appreciate your time and being here, and I wish you all the best. Click below for my free protection and grounding meditation. This is going to be so helpful to all of you sensitives and healers to help manage your energy and to just find a nice calming spot in your day. This could also, help you if you are just in a lot of pain and stress as well. So I hope you check that out. Check out my links below for all the things that I do. As always, I'm here to serve you, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Have a great day.